Hey, welcome back, guys. We're here for another interview at the Staking Summit 2025 in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I'm joined by Juri, head of product for Swyke. Thanks a lot for accepting the invitation to come speak a little bit with us and explaining to the viewers what does Swyke do and what is your role within Swyke.
100%. First off, thanks for having me. Thank you for organizing Staking Summit once again.
Of course.
I believe Buenos Aires is a great choice. Also, on a personal note, I really love the city. So far, the experience here has been a 10 out of 10. Also, looking forward to the opening event tonight. But yeah, I'm Juri. I'm head of product at Swyke. We have our roots actually in the Bitcoin ecosystem. We used to run the biggest Bitcoin miner in Europe for some time and then eventually expanded to staking. And our focus is primarily the Sui and the Solana ecosystem. And this is where, and in this area, we provide institutional grade staking integrations. Besides that, we also develop products for the ecosystems that we are active on. And I mean, you mentioned in the introduction a little bit, we are talking about Stake Brief, which is like, for example, a staking dashboard that we built for the Sui ecosystem. Lots of toolkits, so there are a lot of things that we do. And besides that, we also provide RPC nodes. We provide white labeling services. So all of the stuff that is very common in the
A lot of infrastructure services around validating, right?
Yeah.
So, but you mentioned Stake Reef, which I think it's kind of one of the newest products that you have out there. Maybe you can talk us a little bit about what is Stake Reef out there.
Sure. So Stake Brief is our newest product. We launched it earlier this year. The first chain that we onboarded was Ika. Ika is an MPC network, which came out of Sui. So it's still part of the Sui ecosystem, but it's its own network.
Okay.
And yeah, so when they launched, we realized that there's an opportunity to build a nice product because it wasn't able, like stakers were theoretically able to stake, but if you didn't have the know-how, then you could just hold your airdrop and not stake it.
Okay.
So there were a lot of people saying, hey, I want to stake, but I just don't have the technical capabilities for that. And then we talked to the team and said, okay, no problem, let's ship a staking dashboard so that people have like a nice UX where they can stake their ICA. And within 2 or 3 weeks, we launched it, shipped it to the ICA ecosystem, and now we are continuously expanding that to the broader Sui ecosystem.
So it's essentially a dashboard for staking.
Correct. It's a dashboard for staking. So one, it fulfills the sole purpose of start staking, ending the staking operations, but also getting insights into what is happening in the staking ecosystem on each chain, meaning you can see what's the current APR, of course, but you can also see what's the current staked ratio, what are the voting powers, like how is that organized.
All right.
So you just get insight. So it's like both worlds. It's like on the one hand, you can see what's happening in the broader staking environment on each chain. But on the other hand, it also fulfills the sole purpose at start and ending staking offers.
But is it a dashboard for validators to stake or for users to delegate
users.
to validators? All right, right. That wasn't available for ICA, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Like we were also surprised in the beginning, but that wasn't possible in the beginning to do exactly that. And then we also added another touch to it. So, for example, also introduced that you could see, okay, which validators are also verified by you guys by staking rewards, which is also obviously like a piece of information that some users might find interesting.
Yeah, of course. Important to be aware which of the providers have gone through this kind of risk assessment programs, of course. And so we were talking before, and you mentioned that you were thinking of expanding this not only to Ika but other ecosystems. Would you mind sharing a little bit more about that?
Sure. So primarily like within the Sui ecosystem, that's like interesting because, for example, you also have Walrus, which also has staking logic integrated. It's also its own network where you stake the Vol token. It's like a huge cloud collection that you essentially have on Walrus. So it's also, to be very honest, it's like one of the networks that are very, very heavy to run. And then obviously Sui, the native asset itself. But it's like very interesting to see that in the SUI ecosystem, a lot of these new projects that are coming out are building their own networks. They are not only just sold protocols that have a governance token, but we see more and more staking logic integrated as these chains wish to have more customization options. So they kind of build network style applications based out of Suri.
And so are these networks essentially like kind of layer twos on top of Suri, or how does it work? You know?
Yeah, it's like you could think of it like in layer two, but but they really try to not mention it or like not present it as a layer two, if that makes sense. But yeah, architecturally it's very close. So you have your own execution environment, but all of the settlement is essentially going to SUI. So in I'm a big fan of Ika, and what basically Ika is doing, they allow every protocol to become like a fully fledged SUI protocol. So you could theoretically leverage Ika's infrastructure, build the protocol like, say, a DeFi application like Aave. So let's say we would build Aave from scratch. Then you could build it like based on Rust, not Solidity, which is like apparently a big advantage for a lot of devs. And then because Ika is like this MPC network, this interoperability hub, and this is how you could do like lots of cross-chain logic. So
Okay.
you could basically interact with this Ika-powered application in such a way that you could deposit liquidity from chain X and lend it from chain Y,
All right.
and it doesn't make a difference. So everything is like completely seamless, which is also like a huge opportunity or like a huge advantage for Sui, because they basically get connected through the entire crypto industry.
Well, I've been like from the interviews we've been having and from the conversation that I've been having, there's coming back this conversation about interoperability and kind of removing the friction for moving assets around, which is, I guess, always in the back of our minds because in order for any crypto operation to run successfully, you have to remove these barriers, right? So it's interesting that it's coming back. This conversation about interoperability and composability. All right. Thanks for the explanation. I would like I've been ending these interviews asking like a more general question, kind of assessing what you guys running the industry of staking think about the future. So, what do you think is the next big thing coming into staking?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think we're like, and I think that's also something positive. We're like questioning more and more the sustainability of a lot of staking operations, because running a chain is very expensive. In a lot of cases, we talk about millions of dollars that are necessary in order to pay the stakers for staking the tokens, logically, but also consequently the staking providers with the commission. And I think we will see like sort of a consolidation in the staking space towards the survival of the fittest kind of a thing. So I think we will see like more and more winners losers. So the winners, I believe, for example, I'm pretty excited, for example, also about Hyperliquid, very optimistic still about the future of Ethereum and Solana. And for the other chains, I believe it will be a little bit more harder. Sui is also one that I'm obviously very excited about. Flair's doing some interesting stuff because they have this Ripple connection. But it's going to be like an uphill battle for a lot of chains, and I think we're going to really see this consolidation to a few chains. Because even though I see the benefits of the app chain thesis, I think from a sustainability aspect, from a financial aspect, it's something that's very hard to keep up sustainably.
And I guess they overlap in a lot of ways, right? So it's not possible to go to that everyone grows, right? At some point, you get winners and losers. So I guess what you're saying is we're reaching that phase where we'll see a bigger gap.
Yes,
between the ones that are on top and the ones that are not going to survive in it.
And I think the demand didn't follow the supply of infrastructure.
Yeah.
So we have built a lot of infrastructure in the past 4 years, but I think since 2022, the demand for it lagged a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Very interesting. Yuri, I appreciate a lot that you accepted coming here and gave us
Yeah, thank you so much.
very good conversation about everything you're building and a little bit of what you think the future might bring. I don't know if you have any last comments that you want to share with your followers or your community. Go ahead.
Yes. Again, Buenos Aires is a beautiful place, and I love being here at the Staking Summit. It's really my favorite crypto conference. A lot of high quality people, and if you have the chance to attend the next one, highly recommend it.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thanks again, and see you guys soon.